And welcome to another FAQ Monday. I'm your host, Fluff. And if you have a question, feel free to leave them on down below or going over to the Ask FM account thing, and we'll maybe get to you at some point. After I finish my coffee, of course. First question, thoughts about the new Kemper stage? I have a few thoughts on the Kemper stage. Now, for those of you who may have missed the big announcement or may have been living under a rock, Kemper released the floor version of their fabled Kemper profiling amp, right? It's not powered, it's passive. It's basically the floor version of the non-powered rack or non-powered lunchbox. I think it's cool that it's in a different form factor because a lot of folks need the floor form. I think Kemper definitely missed a few opportunities to maybe improve on some things that they could have improved. Namely, the screen still looks like it's from 1989, and also no scribble strips on the foot switches. Are you kidding me? It's 2019. Scribble strips, for those of you who don't know what a scribble strip is, that's what you call the little screen above the foot switch that you can name, and it will dynamically change with your patches. So maybe foot switch 1 is your dirty tone or clean tone or delay or whatever you want it to be, instead of putting a piece of tape and writing dirty on it or something like that. That's, it's the thing that the Helix Control has and the Fractal has, even the Headrush has. I don't know, I think it was a huge missed opportunity for Kemper to really kind of maybe take a step forward into the 2019 era, 2017 era with the Kemper, but alas, they did not. They simply just repackaged the 7-year-old tech and left it as is. Also, no desktop editor. Huge fail, in my opinion. But hey, you know what? Maybe you guys like scrolling through menus right in front of the unit. I don't know. But anyway, since I was asked, that is my qualm with the Kemper stage. Maybe next time. What is the guitar tone on the Dragged Undertunes? The guitar tone on the Dragged Undertunes, so we have 4 of them. There's 2 of them you guys haven't heard, but the ones that you have heard, Here for War and Hypochondria, those are all JST Toneforge Jason Richardson amp sim, believe it or not. All the songs that we have currently have been mixed by our homeboy Matt Good from Drugs and from First to Last, and he's also produced and mixed records from bands like Asking Alexandria. We just trusted him fully to do his thing, and he did an incredible job. And I was shocked as well when I asked him, hey, man, what did you use for the guitar tones? Because we just gave him the DI tones. Now, the guitar that was used for all of the songs was my Balaguer Beauberchel Thicket Telly, and it had the Killswitch Engage Fishman pickups in it. And it was ripping, it was tight, and it was just phenomenal sounding, so that's what we went with, and that is what you hear in all the Dragged Under stuff. Killswitch Engage Fishmans into a JST Toneforge Jason Richardson amp. Go figure, right? What was the best show you have ever played? The best show I have ever played, oh man, I've played a lot. I've been so blessed to play a lot of really, really great shows. What's a show that sticks out in my mind though is Masquerade in Atlanta, Georgia on the American Safari Tour last year for Rest Repose. Masquerade is it's inside like a formerly abandoned strip mall kind of a thing. So Masquerade is actually 3 different venues of varying sizes, and we were playing in the smallest venue. It was about like a 300 cap club or something like that, ballpark. We get there and we start loading in, and the doors are closed, right? So we're coming in from the back, and the front of the door looked like a scene out of Walking Dead. There were people pounding on the doors trying to get in, and they were chanting Rest Repose, Rest Repose, Rest Repose. It was crazy. About 250 kids proceeded to show up and throw down with us. And that was the night that Jared body surfed while playing guitar. We did like 2 encores, and the energy was insane. People were crowd surfing and stage diving, and it was unbelievable, honestly. And then we stayed and hung out at the merch booth and signed stuff for like 2 hours afterwards. Unbelievable night. I'll never forget it. Atlanta, Georgia, they pop off. Favorite discontinued amp? That's a tough one. I mean, technically, so if I said PV5152, a lot of you would just be like, that's the 6505 Plus now, although they are different. Don't argue with that. But if I had to pick one discontinued amp, I would pick the original 2-channel Rev G dual rectifier from Mesa Boogie. think that's such a brilliant amp, but I would have it updated in a very modern way. So like, multi-watt switching and maybe an improved effects loop from the original and maybe a little less muddy, maybe, but I mean, or maybe just a better clean channel. Don't change the dirty channel, a little better clean channel. And I know I'm basically describing the multi-watt version now. There's still a little bit to be done. And maybe that's just the old original design. I don't know. They are very, very close. I made a video comparing the two. They are very close, the new multi-watt and the original Rev G Recto, but however, two channel rectifier, 100 watt. That is the amp that I would love to see reissued. Much like Marshall does with like the JCM 800s, the Heritage series or the Vintage series or something like that. I think Maisel could make a killing making some of the old amps. Maybe, updating them slightly if need be. But yeah, 2-channel dual rectifier from the 90s. That's me. What's your favorite beer brand? Oh boy, favorite beer brand would probably be Elysian. Elysian is, they're local to the Northwest. We have a lot of great beers up here, but I think Elysian would be top amongst my picks. They have a beer that I really, really like called Space Dust, and they also make a second one called Super Fuzz. And when Rest Repose were lucky enough to play the brewery in downtown Seattle a few years back for a radio station show, and we played to like 1,000 people, and it was crazy, and there was just beer everywhere. Men's Room Gold is really, really phenomenal. I like a hoppy beer, and Elysian does the hoppiness right. And yeah, I don't know what their distribution is like in the rest of the country, but if you can get a hold of some anything Elysian, definitely check it out. Elysian is just a phenomenal beer, and I really enjoy it on the occasion that I do have a beer. Do you think you'll ever go back to using just a tube amp, cab, and pedals? Maybe. I mean, I think about that often. It's such a weird thing to compromise, or if you are gonna compromise, your sound and how you are perceived sonically with the convenience of being able to just carry your entire setup in one hand, right? Like that's such a fine line to tread. And having recently just gone to Helix full-time with a power amp into a 212 cab, I love the convenience of having a 212 cab and basically a Pelican case, and then that's my setup. However, having a real amp pushing real air was incredible, and it is incredible, and I'll always love that. I don't think I'll ever go back to an actual pedal board. Having people step all over your pedals and dumping water all over your pedals, and then having pedal board gremlins and random dropouts and troubleshooting while the crowd watches you trying to fix a cable, that is a nightmare scenario for me. I hate that. I'll never go back to an actual pedal board live. An actual amp and cab though, maybe. I mean, when I can afford to have roadies on the road with Dragged Under to haul my stuff, yeah, sure. But as long as I'm carrying the stuff, yeah, it's gonna be the most compact thing possible because I'm not getting any younger, and hauling around basically what is the amount of a giant distortion pedal, I don't know. Efficiency is cool. Any tips on promoting mixing services? If you're trying to get yourself out there as a mix engineer, the best thing is honestly word of mouth, and you're gonna get that exposure from word of mouth by doing some, obviously your work has to be really, really good. Secondly, you're gonna have to do some stuff for free. I would offer several local bands or whatever bands that you come across to mix a single for free. Get it out there, and instead of payment, they have to tag you in your posts or in their posts promoting the single. For example, here's a new single mixed by whatever your name is. And they tag you and link back to your Facebook or something like that. Those things can always be negotiated. And so instead of taking payment for that, take the credit, take the promo, take the social currency. That's what I did with Rob Scallon, and it changed my life. He couldn't afford to pay me to mix his stuff. So instead, I just got a shout out at the end of the video on the Slayer banjo video, for example. That was life-changing for me. I got a shout out in Rolling Stone. I was named in Rolling Stone magazine along with Rob for that video. It was crazy. So Yeah, do some stuff for free, but know that it's not really for free. You are getting something out of it. That's what I would do if you're trying to get out there with your mix stuff. And now Fluff reads a tweet. Beer is really just liquid toast. My suggestion to you this week is to come out to Chain Reaction if you are a California resident tomorrow, Tuesday. My band Dragged Under and Dead American are playing Chain Reaction. It's gonna be a crazy show and you are not gonna wanna miss this. So if you are in the Anaheim area in California, please come out and say hi to me and the boys. We'll just be hanging out and shooting the breeze until it is showtime. Also, shout out to my patron, Bruce Wilkie, for supporting this channel and me, and enables me to make videos like this. If you want to go and check out the perks on my Patreon page, click down below and you'll be whisked away to the wonderful world of Patreon. All the links down below in the description. You've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.